Time now to find out how Toyota helped their drivers perform on race day.
At the Toyota Performance Center in North Carolina, racers train throughout the season to make sure they are as well engineered as their race cars.
Here is about fine-tuning the driver the same way the engineers and the teams fine-tune the car. So we are working on heat tolerance training, their aerobic capacity, their muscle mass and their movement, and then their sensory performance. A large population of our drivers are younger. They are in that development age range, so you have kind of 18 to mid-20s. It's a very transitional time of life with a lot of pressure of trying to make it in whatever series they're in order to secure sponsorship and keep going. The culture of this place allows the drivers to have kind of a safe space to develop as people, their communication skills, as well as physically.
Among the drivers training at the center are Canadian racer Connor Mosack and South Carolina native Isabella Robusto. Both are working their way up the NASCAR ladder and hoping to make the big time.
I'm part of the TD2 program, which is Toyota Driver Development, and basically they help us with anything and everything to do on and off of the racetrack for racing. This year I'm actually doing 6 different types of cars. The main ones being ARCA. I'm going to do the full car store, which is kind of like the top level of the late models. I'm also going to be running the full GT4 series, and then lastly I'm going to run the GR86 Nitro Racing.
Last year I was primarily doing the Trans Am series in the TA2 class, but also did some ARCA racing and some late model racing to work on my ovals, and that's led me to the opportunity I have this year to run in Xfinity, so I'm really excited about that. This is an amazing facility, and I've been here for about a month and a half now, and it's been a huge help for me just to be able to have the support that these guys give to me, obviously from a physical standpoint, being able to be in shape for these long races, and also the mental side of it, being sharp at the end of the races, but also having the reaction time and the mental clarity you need when you're under that stress as well. They really cover everything, and anything I need help with, they're there to support me.
It might sound contradictory, but younger drivers actually need more attention from the performance experts, as despite their youth, they're less adapted to the rigors of long, ferociously competitive races.
3 things are contributing to their heart rate going up in the car. One is the actual physical active driving, which gets easier the more experience that you have. It takes less energy to kind of physically get the car around. The other is the heat. For every 1 degree Celsius that your core body temperature raises, your resting heartbeat is going to go up 10 beats per minute. And the last would be like the emotional stress of driving, which again is easier the more experienced you are. And we work on their recovery. So every time there's a caution, kind of giving them the tools, the breath work, the different kind of mental states to be able to pull their heart rate back down, so that the next time it goes up, when we get under green again, they're not raising as high as they would be if they didn't lower their heart rate as much.
Your heart rate gets really high in the car, and especially when it gets hotter, being able to deal with the stress of the heat. So we do a lot of cardio-based training, and even the stuff we do with weights is usually pretty high intensity and more in the higher rep range. So you're really working on being able to build endurance and keep your heart rate down, and being able to focus mentally while your heart rate is elevated and while you're tired.
Nutrition is taken just as seriously as the physical conditioning, especially with the younger racers, who are often now living away from home and feeding themselves whilst trying to maintain peak condition.
There are some key things that, if not addressed, can lead to poor performance, or maybe not getting that extra edge compared to your competitors. When those factors were not addressed, there was a difference in how they felt, how they performed in the car. And then when we started to make some of these changes, they started to feel and experience that shift. And they're like, wow, this is useful and helpful.
When I first started last year, we went into Nutrition 101, which is kind of like the broad things of what you should and shouldn't eat, and then also ways to fix it if you have bad habits. But now it's getting dialed into supplements, as well as my macros, and hit all the marks that we kind of set.
Both Robusto and Mosack have big dreams for the future. Every year is important on their journey as the pyramid narrows, and Toyota are trying to give them the leg up to succeed.
The dream is to race on Sundays. I want to be in the Cup Series, and not only win when I get in the Cup Series, but win in all of the series on the way up there.
Hopefully get some good results, and then be able to go full-time in Xfinity next year with a top team and be able to win a lot of races. Dreams to be a Cup Series champion.